Okay, I hope I'm audible to all students who are attending this lecture of international economics. We continue with our lectures on Ricardian model, and the book I prefer to follow for my lectures on Ricardian model, this is International Economics by Paul Krugman and Melids. Formally, the Ricardian model is chapter 3 of this book. Okay, now all students can recall that in the previous lecture of Ricardian model, we had done the concept of comparative advantage. Okay, I can quickly show that to you through my lecture note. We had looked at the concept of comparative advantage, and we had learned that any country is said to have a comparative advantage in production of a commodity if the opportunity cost of producing that commodity in terms of other commodities is lower in that country as compared to other countries. We had looked at the example of the US economy and the Colombian economy. We had talked about two commodities, roses and computers, and we had seen in the example that US has a comparative advantage in production of computers, whereas Colombia has a comparative advantage in production of roses. Okay, then we had started with the Ricardian model in the last lecture. We had looked at the one factor economy. We had looked at the case where we have only one economy, which we used to call as the home economy. That economy produces two commodities, wine, which is in gallons, and cheese, which is in pounds. And then we had looked at the model. Okay, we had looked at the production possibility frontier. Okay, we had looked at the production possibility frontier. We had looked at how the trade is going to happen in this case when we only have the home economy. So we did not talk about trade until this class. We haven't talked about trade at all. There was only one economy, which was the home economy. It was producing two commodities, cheese and wine. And in the last lecture, we saw when will the economy specialize in the production of cheese and when will the economy specialize in the production of wine. Okay, so this is the conclusion we had from the last lecture, that the economy is going to specialize. The economy here is nothing but the home economy. The economy is going to specialize in the production of cheese if the relative price of cheese exceeds the opportunity cost in terms of wine. What is the opportunity cost, guys? It's nothing but the ratio of the unit labor requirements. ALC by ALW denotes the opportunity cost of cheese in terms of wine, where ALC denotes the hours of labor required to produce 1 pound of cheese, and ALW refers to the hours of labor required to produce 1 gallon of wine. So we had learned in the previous lecture of international economics that if the relative price of cheese exceeds the opportunity cost, the economy is going to specialize in the production of cheese, and the economy is going to specialize in the production of wine if the relative price of cheese is less than the opportunity cost in terms of wine. So I again repeat, till the last lecture, we haven't talked about trade at all because there was only one economy, home economy. And we had seen under what situations will the home economy specialize in production of cheese, under what situations it will specialize in the production of wine. And guys, if the relative price of cheese is exactly equal to the opportunity cost, ALC by ALW, then we had learned that the home economy is going to produce both the goods, cheese also and wine also. This is what we had done till the previous lecture. Now, in this particular lecture, we intend to look at trade in a one-factor world. So now from this lecture onwards, we'll start assuming now two economies, home and foreign. Till the last lecture, we only had the home economy. Now we have two countries. So suppose there are two countries, the home country and the foreign country. Both these economies have only one factor of production. We are only dealing with one factor. So each of these countries has only one factor of production. Let's call it as labor. Labor is the only factor of production in the home and foreign economy and can produce two goods, wine and cheese. The home's labor force is denoted by capital N, and the home's unit labor requirement in wine and cheese respectively are ALW and ALC respectively. All students should be familiar with these terms now. Capital L denotes the total labor force in the home economy. ALW denotes the hours of labor required to produce 1 gallon of wine at home country. ALC denotes the hours of labor required to produce 1 pound of cheese in the home economy. Now let's talk about foreign. Foreign also comes into the picture now. Okay, so let's talk about foreign. So the foreign's labor force is denoted by L star, and the foreign's unit labor requirements in wine and cheese are ALW star and ALC star respectively. That means L star is the total labor force abroad, okay, and ALW star denotes the hours of labor required to produce 1 gallon of wine in the foreign economy. ALC star denotes the hours of labor required to produce 1 pound of cheese in the foreign economy. Okay, we start with this assumption that ALC by ALW is less than ALC star by ALW star. This is the assumption we make in this model. Now, what does this assumption mean? The students can look at this. This means that the ratio of the labor required to produce a pound of cheese to that required to produce a gallon of wine is lower in the home than in the foreign country. This means in the home economy, the ratio of labor required to produce cheese relative to wine is less as compared to the ratio of labor required to produce cheese as compared to wine in the home economy, foreign economy. This means what? This means that the home's relative productivity in cheese is higher than that in terms of wine. Remember, guys, when I say ALC by ALW, it captures what? ALC by ALW captures the opportunity cost. It captures the opportunity cost of cheese in terms of wine. Okay, so if I come to the whiteboard, if I sum up the model till now, let me sum it up on the whiteboard for all students. We are talking about now trade in a one-factor world. Okay, trade in a one-factor world. Again, we have two economies, the home economy and the foreign economy. One factor of production, which is nothing but labor. Two goods, or I can say two commodities, cheese and wine. ALC and ALW denote the unit labor requirements. They denote the unit labor requirements to produce cheese and wine in the home country. ALC star and ALW star denote the unit labor requirements to produce cheese and wine in the foreign country. Okay, and the crucial assumption we have made here is, the crucial assumption we have made in this model is that ALC by ALW is less than ALC star by ALW star. That is, the opportunity cost of cheese in terms of wine is lower in the home country as compared to the foreign country. Well, this means what? If the opportunity cost of producing cheese in terms of wine is lower in the home country as compared to foreign country, it means that the home country has a comparative advantage in production of cheese as compared to the foreign country. So I can rewrite this assumption and I can say what? Since ALC by ALW is less than ALC star by ALW star, therefore, this means that the home country has a comparative advantage. The home country has a comparative advantage in the production of cheese and the foreign country has a comparative advantage in production of wine. Okay, the home country has a comparative advantage in the production of cheese and the foreign country has a comparative advantage in the production of wine. Okay, this is what we learned because ALC by ALW is the opportunity cost of producing cheese in the home country. ALC star by ALW star is the opportunity cost of producing cheese in the foreign country. You can clearly see the home country has a lower opportunity cost of producing cheese compared to wine as compared to the foreign country. That means the home economy has a comparative advantage in the production of cheese. So if I now come back to the lecture note, okay, so now understand this note. If I say that ALC is less than ALC star, what does this mean? This means hours of labor required to produce 1 pound of cheese is less than hours of labor required to produce the same pound of cheese abroad. It means that home country is more efficient than foreign country in producing cheese. If ALC is less than ALC star, it means what? It means that the home labor is more efficient in producing cheese as compared to the foreign labor, because ALC less than ALC star means that the home labor is requiring lesser hours to produce the same pound of cheese as compared to the foreign labor. So students need to understand, here comes the next concept, absolute advantage. When one country can produce a unit of a good with less labor hours than the other country, we say that the first country has an absolute advantage in producing that. So if ALC is less than ALC star, it means home has a absolute advantage in producing cheese. So I can come to the whiteboard and I can explain to all students the difference between absolute versus comparative advantage. So this note makes everything crystal clear. If ALC is less than ALC star, this means that the home country requires lesser labor hours than the foreign country to produce the same pound of cheese. To produce the same pound of cheese. This means that the home country has an absolute advantage. The home country has an absolute advantage over the foreign country in the production of cheese. Okay, this is my first point. My second point is, however, if ALC by ALW is less than ALC star by ALW star. Now you are looking at opportunity cost of cheese relative to wine. So if this is the case, this means that the home country has comparative advantage. Home country has comparative advantage over the foreign country in the production of cheese. So if only ALC is less than ALC star, it means the home economy has an absolute advantage over the foreign economy in the production of cheese. However, if ALC by ALW is less than ALC star by ALW star, it means the home country has a comparative advantage over the foreign country in the production of cheese. Okay, so hoping all students have understood the difference between absolute versus comparative advantage. Coming back to the lecture note, all students can look at the foreign country's production possibility frontier. Okay, if I quickly come to the whiteboard, I can quickly show to all students the equations. So the home country's production possibility frontier is given by, ALCQC plus ALWQW is equal to total labor in the home economy. Okay, the horizontal intercept of this is, how do I find the horizontal intercept, guys? Remember, cheese is measured on the x-axis and wine is measured on the y-axis throughout our lectures. So how do I find the horizontal intercept? Put QW as 0, which implies QC is equal to L upon ALC. It gives us the maximum cheese the home economy can produce. Vertical intercept, how do I find it? Put QC as 0, which implies QW is equal to L upon ALW. This is the maximum wine the home economy can produce. And the slope here is nothing but minus ALC by ALW. That is the slope. If I talk about the foreign countries production possibility frontier, foreign countries production possibility frontier is given as ALC star QC star plus ALW star QW star equal to L star, where L star denotes the total labor force in the foreign economy. Again, the horizontal intercept, put QW star as 0, which implies QC star is equal to L star by ALC star. Maximum cheese production possible in the foreign economy. Vertical intercept, you put QC star as 0, you get QW star as L star upon ALW star, which is the maximum wine output possible in the foreign economy. Okay, and then the slope of the foreign production possibility frontier is minus ALC star by ALW star. This slope captures the opportunity cost of cheese in terms of wine. Opportunity cost of cheese in terms of wine in the home economy, or I can say home country. This slope captures the opportunity cost of cheese in terms of wine in the foreign economy. Okay, so I think all this is clear to all students. And then I can quickly write the, if I compare the slope, guys, what do we learn? We learned that in absolute terms, if I ignore the minus sign, in absolute terms, since ALC by ALW is less than ALC star by ALW star, because of the crucial assumption we have made, I can say therefore the foreign countries production possibility frontier is steeper than the home country's production possibility frontier. This is a very important point. All of us know from basic mathematics that any line which has a higher slope is going to be steeper. You can clearly see that we have made the assumption that ALC by ALW in absolute terms is less than ALC star by ALW star. That means the slope of the home country's production possibility frontier will be flatter, or I can say the slope of the foreign country's production possibility frontier will be relatively steeper. Okay, so all students can quickly see this on the lecture note as well. You can see I've drawn the home country's production possibility frontier, foreign cheese production in pounds, QC star on the horizontal axis, foreign wine production in wine, QW star on the vertical axis. This is my foreign country's horizontal intercept, L star by ALC star. L star by ALW star is my vertical intercept, L star by ALW star, okay, for the foreign economy, and P star L star is my foreign country's production possibility frontier. You can see it's steeper. If we quickly go through the explanation, the above diagram shows the production possibility frontier for the foreign economy, which is P star F star. Since the slope of PPF equals the opportunity cost of cheese in terms of wine, the foreign's PPF is cheaper than the home's PPF. Since we have made the crucial assumption that ALC star by ALW star is greater than ALC by ALW. In the absence of trade, the relative price of cheese and wine in each country would be determined by the relative unit labor requirements. Thus, in the home country, the relative price of cheese would be ALC by ALW, and the foreign country, it will be ALC star by ALW star. This comes from the last lecture. If there is no trade, I can come to the whiteboard and I can write that when there is no trade, when there is no trade between the home and the foreign economy, when there is no trade between the home and the foreign economy, then in the home economy, the relative price of cheese, PC by PW, exactly equals the opportunity cost, ALC by ALW. Because in the last lecture we saw that if the relative price of cheese exactly equals the opportunity cost of cheese in terms of wine, the home country is going to produce both wine and cheese. Similarly, guys, when there is no trade in the foreign economy, what is going to happen? In the foreign economy, the relative price of cheese PC star by PW star will exactly be equal to the opportunity cost of cheese in terms of wine in the foreign economy. So this is going to be the scenario when there is no trade between the home and the foreign economies. Okay, coming back to the lecture note. Now, let's now look at the determination of relative prices after trade. So if I come to the whiteboard, these were the relative prices before trade. I can say these are my relative prices before trade. In the home economy, my relative price is equal to ALC by ALW. In the foreign economy, my relative price is equal to ALC star by ALW star. And this is happening before trade. Now let us see what happens with trade. So first of all, we are going to derive the relative demand and the relative supply curve. So on the horizontal axis, we have the relative quantity of cheese. What is the relative quantity of cheese, guys? Home's production of cheese plus foreign's production of cheese divided by home's production of wine plus foreign's production of wine. That means on the horizontal axis, we are measuring QC plus QC star divided by QW plus QW star. This captures the relative quantity of cheese produced in the world the world consists of the home and the foreign economy. So the relative production of cheese in the world is nothing but home's production of cheese plus foreign's production of cheese relative to home's production of wine plus foreign's production of wine. And on the vertical axis, we have the relative price of cheese, which is PC by PW. So the above diagram shows the world supply and demand for cheese relative to wine as functions of the price of cheese relative to that of wine. Okay, you can clearly see the relative demand is denoted by the downward sloping RD curve. Just like any individual demand curve, the relative demand curve will also be downward sloping. Lower the relative price of cheese, higher will be the relative demand for cheese. So I can write here, lower the relative price of cheese, it implies higher will be the relative demand of cheese. Because of law of demand, very simple. Okay, and the relative supply is denoted by the RS curve. Okay, you can clearly see that the world relative supply is determined by the world relative price is determined by the intersection of the RD and the RS curve. Okay, now let us go deep. Let us dig deeper. Let us look at the RS curve, derivation of the RS curve. So the RS curve shows that there would be no supply of cheese if the world price dropped below ALC by ALW. You can clearly see this, guys. Okay, so you can clearly see that this point is nothing but my ALC by ALW. This is nothing but this point is my ALC by ALW. And this particular point is nothing but ALC star by ALW star, as you can see on your screen. You can clearly see that if the relative price of cheese, if PC by PW, first of all students can clearly see that the crucial assumption is satisfied here. From the diagram, you can see that ALC by ALW is less than ALC star by ALW star. You can see ALC by ALW is less than ALC star by ALW star. Now, if the relative price of cheese PC by PW is less than ALC by ALW, there is going to be zero supply of cheese as given by the blue shaded vertical line. Okay. This is because the home economy will specialize in wine production when PC by PW is less than ALC by ALW. Okay, so if the relative price of cheese in the world market is less than the opportunity cost of cheese in the home economy, even the home economy is going to specialize in production of wine. Okay, so similarly, the foreign will specialize in the wine production when PC by PW is less than ALC star by ALW star, and the model makes the assumption that ALC by ALW is less than ALC star by ALW star. So all of us, basically it means what, guys? If you look at the case, this is case 1. If PC by PW is less than ALC by ALW, this implies the home economy will specialize in the production of wine if the relative price of cheese is less than the opportunity cost of cheese in terms of wine, which we have done in the previous lecture, then the home economy will specialize in production of wine. And since ALC by ALW itself is less than ALC by ALW star, what do we learn? PC by PW is less than ALC by ALW. ALC by ALW is less than ALC star by ALW star. If I combine the two, it means what? It means I can say PC by PW is less than ALC star by ALW star also, which implies the foreign economy will also specialize foreign economy will also specialize in the production of wine. So I can say, therefore, if PC by PW is less than ALC by ALW, the relative supply of cheese, is equal to 0. Because both the economies are going to specialize in production of wine. So the relative supply of cheese will be exactly equal to 0. You can see this in the diagram on the in the lecture note. You can see this, guys. You look at this particular case. You can clearly see that PC by PW is less than ALC by ALW. And ALC by ALW itself, by default, by the assumption, it's less than ALC star by ALW star. That simply means that the economy is only going to specialize in wine production. The relative supply of cheese or the relative quantity of cheese is equal to 0. If the relative price of cheese exactly is equal to ALC by ALW, in that particular case, what is going to happen? The home economy is going to produce both wine and cheese. The home economy is going to produce both wine and cheese. Now, guys, what is the maximum amount of cheese which can be produced? So in relative terms, L upon ALC is the maximum cheese produced in the home economy, divided by L star upon ALC star. Let me correct myself. This is L star upon ALC star. This is C. Okay, so this denotes the maximum production of cheese which can happen. Okay, so, or I can say the maximum cheese which can be produced in the home economy relative to the foreign economy. So all students can see this. So first of all, we have done with this case at the relative price of cheese below ALC by ALW, there would be no world cheese production. If the relative price PC by PW is less than ALC by ALW, there is going to be no world cheese production. Let's look at the second case. When PC by PW is equal to ALC by ALW, then the workers in the home can earn exactly the same amount making either cheese or wine. Again, we have learned this in the previous lecture that if the relative price of cheese exactly equals the opportunity cost of cheese in terms of wine, the home economy is going to produce both wine and cheese. So the home country will be willing to supply any relative amount of two goods producing a flat section of the RS curve. You can clearly see in the diagram the flat section of the RS curve. Either the home economy can produce zero amount of cheese with full amount of wine, or it can produce only cheese with zero wine. If it produces only cheese, okay, let me correct myself. This is going to be W only. At this particular point, the home economy is going to produce only cheese. And the foreign economy is going to produce only wine. Because, guys, at this particular point, you can see that PC by PW is still less than ALC star by ALW star. So this will be L upon ALC, maximum amount of cheese the home economy can produce, divided by L star upon ALW star. It's correct. L star upon ALW star will be the maximum wine production of the foreign country. So this my second case where PC by PW is exactly equal to, where PC by PW is exactly equal to ALC by ALW, is going to produce this flat section of the RS curve. Okay, and then moving forward, if we have this case, when PC by PW is greater than ALC by ALW, the home economy will specialize in the production of cheese. All of us have seen this from the last lecture. If the relative price of cheese exceeds the opportunity cost of cheese in terms of wine in the home country, the home is going to produce only cheese. And as long as this PC by PW stays below ALC star by ALW star, the foreign will continue to specialize in production of wine, as you can see in the diagram given by this particular portion. You can see in this particular portion, you can see that this inequality is satisfied. ALC by ALW is less than PC by PW, which is less than ALC star by ALW star. So you are going to be, and in this particular portion of the RS curve, where the home economy is producing only cheese and the foreign economy is producing only wine. But if your PC by PW now becomes exactly equal to ALC star by ALW star, now what is going to happen? When the home economy specializes in cheese production, it produces L upon ALC pounds. Similarly, when the foreign specializes in wine production, it produces L star upon ALW star gallons. So for any relative price of cheese lying between ALC by ALW and AL star by ALW star, the relative supply of cheese will be L upon ALC, which is the maximum cheese production in the home economy, divided by L star upon ALW star, which is the maximum wine production in the foreign economy. At PC by PW exactly equal to ALC star by ALW star, the foreign workers will be indifferent between producing wine and cheese. We again have a flat section of the supply curve. You can clearly see that as the relative price of cheese becomes exactly equal to ALC star by ALW star, now the foreign workers become indifferent between producing wine and cheese, giving this flat section of the RS curve. Okay, and then we have the last case for PC by PW greater than ALC star by ALW star. Both the home and the foreign countries will specialize in cheese production. If the relative price of cheese exceeds ALC star by ALW star, and by the crucial assumption ALC star by ALW star itself is greater than ALC by ALW, then both the economies are going to specialize in cheese production. There will be no wine production. So the relative supply of cheese will become infinite. Okay, and if I quickly explain this on the whiteboard, if I sum it up on the whiteboard, okay, so if I summing up the derivation of the RS curve, summing up the derivation of the relative supply curve, I am drawing the diagram again so that all students have perfectly understood it. Okay, on the horizontal axis, we have the relative supply of cheese in the world market, QC plus QC star divided by QW plus QW star. And on the vertical axis, we have PC by PW, the relative price of cheese. This is my ALC by ALW. This is my ALC star by ALW star. We have made the crucial assumption that ALC by ALW is less than ALC star by ALW star. Now, if my price of cheese PC by PW is less than ALC by ALW, if PC by PW is less than ALC by ALW, which itself is less than ALW star, let me correct myself, which itself is less than ALC star by ALW star, it implies both home and foreign specialize in cheese production. Let me correct myself, both of them specialize in the wine production. If the relative price of cheese is less than the opportunity cost of cheese in the home country, which itself is less than the opportunity cost of cheese in the foreign economy, both the economies are going to specialize in wine production. So my relative supply of cheese is 0. Okay. On the other hand, if my PC by PW is exactly equal to ALC by ALW, which is less than ALC star by ALW star, then the home workers are indifferent between cheese and wine production. But the foreign workers only produce wine. The foreign workers are only going to produce wine because PC by PW is less than ALC star by ALW star. So this is going to give me a flat portion of the relative supply curve. It's going to give me a flat portion of the relative supply curve, because when PC by PW is equal to ALC by ALW, either the home country can produce zero cheese with only wine, or it can produce only cheese. Now, when the home economy produces only cheese, maximum cheese the home economy can produce given its production possibility frontier is L upon ALC divided by, because it's relative to, when PC by PW is equal to ALC by ALW, ALC by ALW still is less than ALC star by ALW star. That means the foreign workers are going to still produce wine. What's the maximum wine the foreign workers can produce? L star upon ALW star. So this is going to be my point. If my PC by PW now lies between ALC by ALW, so if I erase this case off now, okay, so if my PC by PW is greater than ALC by ALW but less than ALC star by ALW star, very simple, the home economy produces only cheese and the foreign economy produces only wine. Foreign economy produces only wine, as given by this particular portion. If PC by PW lies between these 2 points, the home economy is going to produce only cheese divided by the foreign economy is going to produce only wine. And then we have the next case. If I erase this particular part off, we then have the next case that if ALC, if PC by PW is exactly equal to ALC star by ALW star, okay, which is greater than ALC by ALW, then the home country, or I can say the home economy produces only cheese. Why? Because PC by PW is greater than ALC by ALW. So the home economy produces only cheese, but the foreign economy is indifferent between wine and cheese. You can see that because PC by PW exactly equals ALC star by ALW star. That means the foreign economy is indifferent between producing wine and cheese, which is going to give the flat portion of the RS. When PC by PW exactly equals ALC star by ALW star, the home economy is only going to produce cheese. But the foreign economy will be indifferent between producing cheese and wine. And all of us know the last case, that if PC by PW itself exceeds AL star by ALW star, which is itself greater than ALC by ALW because of the assumption, both economies will only produce cheese. This means there is going to be zero wine production. Okay, that means this particular horizontal part is going up to infinity. It will keep on stretching forward. So this gives me my relative supply curve. So my relative supply curve has been derived. You can see whatever I'm shading, whatever I'm putting in red curly is a part of the relative supply curve. This part, this part, this part, and this part. All this red curly shaded region is my relative supply curve. And then we know the relative demand curve. Okay. If I quickly come back to the lecture note, the relative demand curve is downward sloping, representing substitution effect. Okay. Lower the relative price of cheese, higher will be the relative demand for cheese. Very simple. Law of demand. So as the relative price of cheese increases, consumers will tend to purchase less cheese and more wine. So relative demand curve is downward slope. So students, this is where I intend to stop in this particular lecture. Okay. The objective of this lecture was to quickly discuss with all students the concept of having trade in a one factor economy, where you only have one factor, labor. You have two economies, home and foreign. You have two commodities, wine and cheese. And today in this lecture, we have derived the relative demand curve and the relative supply curve. Now, in the next lecture of international economics, we are going to look at the cases for the equilibrium. We are going to see under what cases will the trade happen. So we'll start looking at from case 1 onwards in the next lecture of international economics. So this is where I stop. I hope all students have enjoyed this lecture. Any doubt, you can unmute your mic and ask, or call up or mail me your doubts at divineschoolofeconomics@gmail.com. So this is where I